Welcome to Project Pack number 29. This is day 6. My name is Rick.
Hi, I'm Maria, and I'm just having one of my days where I just appreciate this paper and these tools and all of these things that I just dream about. And I can't say enough of how lucky we are to have these at our beck and call so easily. And I'm just so grateful. So we're going to add some life in here, and we're things that grow.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go back and do some leaves. Here's an 08 black pen. And we're going to add these long stems of a poke leaf, sort of. This is a great S shape coming off here.
Or maybe a poke cherry leaf.
A poke cherry leaf. They're
Right.
shaped a little different.
These are really big. Oh, we're working on a big piece of paper, so it makes sense. And again, with that very similar aura gap. Just laying down some what are going to be stems. You'll see it in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Went outside.
I love to go outside the lines.
So on one, yeah.
Yeah, the leaf shapes on this are a little bit different too. They're elongated. Like what other leaf would look like that? I'm trying to think.
Poke cherry.
Okay, there we go.
And then a little bit of another aura.
A strengthening aura. These leaves are going to be fun because we're going to fill them with a tangle called doodah. And watch closely. We're going to go from line to line, but not quite all the way, and doing it every other line like this. There's a beautiful rhythm that takes place. And notice the angle at what I'm doing here. Like a leaf, the veins on a leaf would go in this angle.
And I love the different pressure that you put on the lines. They each have their own character, and they look natural.
So one line starts at the top and then doesn't finish. The other one doesn't touch the top and then goes down. And you'll get into a rhythm pretty easily. You might even want to try it for a few times on a scrap to get that rhythm going. It's so beautiful.
It's such a simple tangle, but it is a beautiful texture, and it's a beautiful border.
And this tangle's been around for years and years and years. And I think the when we saw it the first time was on the border of a frame, like a picture frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a familiar molding. It looks, actually, when you look at it, it looks like those waiting lines at Disney.
Yes.
Right? The looping back and forth.
If you look at the white space.
Yeah, if you look at the white space.
And don't worry if you kind of so-called mess up one of the lines, and nobody will know the difference.
Right. And
so just keep
if they
going.
notice, it's
That's
their problem, right?
Yeah. And in nature, these things happen.
Yeah.
Right?
There's every leaf that you find on a tree, you won't find another leaf that looks just exactly like it. They all are different.
Right. So the second leaf, we're going to do that vein down the middle. And again with the doodah.
Keeping that angle.
We're going to go behind the stem.
And that's such a simple thing. Like as you expand your composition, you always know that if you come to something that's already there, well, you just draw behind it.
Right.
And it always works. It all works.
Okay, so going on the other side, we want that slant, but the opposite slant. I start in the middle and go from left to right just to establish the slant. Because if you try establishing it at the little tiny spot, you won't know which
Right.
angle to follow. Sometimes these little tricks of the trade help a little bit. I really enjoy doing these leaves.
And that nice tethered aura edge of the leaf there.
Going behind. So the rest is just sort of rinse and repeat, right?
Yep. And enjoying every single stroke.
You can put as many leaves as you want. I mean, I think we're doing 4 or 5.
And this is something you might, just tangle along. You might want to watch it ahead of time. Noticing that takeoff and land, restating the line as Maria, where the lines come together.
This last part of the stem we're going to use as a leaf. It's going to actually be the vein in the leaf.
Mm. It's mesmerizing. I keep stopping and just watching it.
I know.
Beautiful.
So I flipped that over, and I'm going to add some more poke cherries down here just because I can. And the stems are coming off this Tripoli just so elegantly.
Well, it's such the theme of this whole project of Tangle to Tangle, and you can see, taking the negative space between those triangles of Tripoli and turning it into the positive of the stem.
So here goes another stem, and it's going to go behind that first cherry.
And it'll be fun to see how yours grow in all these different directions.
I know, right?
Ah, beautiful.
And I love that little line that indicates that it's going into the cherry.
Mm-hmm.
It gives it a little darkness and texture.
Just letting them grow.
And they're growing and going behind the leaf. I don't know if maybe the sun is on the other side, but that's where they want to go.
Just taking your time. Seeing where each one wants to go. There's always room for one more.
Right.
And it's fun to watch how this tangle has evolved over the time. If you go like back in the early newsletters or look at early tiles of how we used to do any tangle, but particularly poke root, the dynamic and is really encouraging to know that there's like, okay, this is the technique, but the technique can be used in so many different ways.
So I'm using my handy dandy pencil holder because sometimes I have a hard time holding the pencil at this point in my life. And it helps me hang on.
Well, it also gives you, lets you use the pencils that get shorter too.
You can get them online. Just look up pencil holders or lengtheners or something like that. There's a whole bunch you could spend a lot of money on them or not so much.
Yeah, they're not that much.
They did help me out during tough times. So we're going to shade these cherries again, like the other ones we did the other day, and leaving a white outside little halo, like
Mm-hmm.
an aura around of white
Little inner aura there.
in an aura.
And just sort of laying it down fairly, smoothly, but not finishing it because you know you're going to come back with the tortillon.
Right. I really love putting in this lots of graphite on these cherries because I don't usually do that.
Mm.
And once you buff it out, it gives it this beautiful shiny surface like a cherry would be. And because these are bigger, it gives you space to do it
Right.
in. The poke root we usually do probably wouldn't give us a lot of room to move around like this.
Right.
So I kind of like this cherry idea on a bigger tile.
Oh, they look red.
Yes.
Right.
And then I'm adding some darker around the highlight, which just gives it a little more shine.
Yeah, contrast. Nice.
You can use this shading technique on a lot of things that maybe you'll try it on other shapes, ovals or circles, just circles in general could do it.
And that's one of the neat takeaways from this is the opportunities that working big offers you, because you can do things with shading or adding tangles within a tangle when it's big that you just could never do when it was small.
Right. And what's really neat about this project pack is that we're working big, but it's not taking a long period of time to do each day or anything like that. It's just a really neat exercise.
But when you work big, it you cover acreage easier.
Mm. But you can go in and tangle inside tangles.
Yeah.
And like we're doing this leaf. Very William Morris, where he did a lot of these little small, his own way of doing tangles, little patterns that be in the background, did it in most of his compositions.
That looks awesome.
Well, thank you very much for coming and visiting with us and drawing, and we'll see you next day.
We see you tomorrow, and you think you're done? Wait till you see tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of
awesome.
fun.
That's great.
Okay, see ya. Bye now.
Bye-bye.